everyone and welcome to another episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today we are celebrating my 2-year anniversary on YouTube. Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a oh? And thank you very much for your support over the past 2 years. Now today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I put the kind of call to action out on Facebook and Twitter, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that actually left me a question and asked me a question, because I was so worried when I put out that call to action that nobody was going to respond. So it's nice that I do have some questions to answer for you guys. I think there's a really good mix of questions, so enough waffling, let's jump into it with the first question. So the first question I was asked was the most popular. 2 people asked me this question, and that was, the first person that asked me this question was Ryan Adams. Ryan runs a wonderful YouTube channel called Movie Nerds. Ryan has given me a lot of constructed feedback for this channel, and I really appreciate the support and the kind of input that Ryan has had helping me with this channel. And Ryan is a wonderful human being, so go and check out Movie Nerds. And then the other person that asked this question as well is another wonderful human being, and that is Chris Wilson. He runs Movie Corner. I met him via Twitter, and again, Chris has been such a strong supporter and an advocate for the Jamie Hughes Show, and we definitely need more wonderful people like Ryan and Chris in this world. And I thank you both for the support, and I thank you both for the question, which basically was along the lines of, just worded a little differently, which is, why did I start YouTube? So to give you some backstory as to why I started the Jamie Hughes Show, back in the day I used to work for a YouTuber. I used to edit his videos. I was very much behind the scenes, but as my time at the company progressed and as our relationship progressed, we started to sit down and record some videos. Some terrible comedy skits, but we realized that we had quite good chemistry on screen, or well, at least I thought we had some good chemistry on screen. So as that progressed, we then set up a kind of side project from the normal stuff we were doing on YouTube, where we would sit down and basically just talk a load of shit about movies, TV shows, loads of Netflix stuff, anything that was kind of going on in the world of YouTube, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and it was a really kind of different medium from what we were doing. It was a nice break, and we actually started to have some real fun. The channel started to gain a little bit of traction. We were starting to build up a really nice community of people, and I really enjoyed my time there, but sadly my time working at that company came to an end, and I was kind of at a loss. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, right, well, what now? And I always kind of kept having this itch of doing my own stuff, and I'd learned a lot of stuff from this guy that I worked for. He taught me so much stuff and gave me a whole wealth of knowledge about YouTube and other like media related stuff. So I thought, well, why not go for it? Why not just start my own channel? And that's what I did. My first ever video was recorded in my friend's dad's basement at his business. I managed to find a bit of green cloth. We found some lights. I already had a camera, and I just went for it. And the video was terrible, but it was a starting block. And for me, that was kind of like, okay, well, now where do we go and where do we progress from here? Because I was trying to do a lot of stuff on this channel when it first started. I was doing movies, TV shows. I was trying to talk about wrestling at points as well. And it just got to a point when all of that wasn't really working, and I knew I had to refine it. So I thought back to that time on that other channel, and doing movie reviews was one of the really fun things I enjoyed. So I thought, well, why not just do movie reviews and see how it goes. So we started to refine the channel a little bit more. Started doing movie reviews, then the movie news kind of came into it as well, because I love doing news videos. So basically that's the point where we're at now. I know that was a little bit of a long-winded answer, but yeah, basically it grew from me having a love of doing YouTube videos that I just kind of transferred the thing I love doing before onto my own channel, where I've kind of created my own things and all of that jazz now. I'd like to think we're starting to build up a little bit of a community here as well. And yeah, that's pretty much the answer. That's why I started a YouTube channel, pretty much to chat shit about movies. So next up, on a lighter note, we have a question from Daniel, who's Royal Scrubs on Twitter, and he asked me pancakes or waffles, and it's got to be pancakes, right? Like, I love a crepe. You can't beat a crepe with a bit of Nutella on it, but for me, this is probably a UK thing, but I love a Scotch pancake. You can't beat a Scotch pancake. That's pissing with butter. I absolutely love it with a cup of tea. So yeah, pancakes it is. So the next question comes from Tyler Culver, who is a wonderful YouTuber. Go and check out his movie reviews because he is awesome. And he asks, what are my most anticipated releases for the rest of the year? And it's a tough one because most of the movies that I was looking forward to have come out already this year, but there are a few I'm still excited to see. Obviously Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom, The Incredibles 2. I can't wait for The Incredibles 2. Solo, that comes out in a couple of weeks. Hearing some positive things about it, which is really nice to see. Weirdly looking forward to the all-female Ocean's 8 movie. I'm not a fan of the George Clooney ones. I remember watching with it when I was a kid and being really bored. But this one looks like it's got a little sauce about it, and yeah, weirdly anticipated for that one. The Mary Poppins sequel as well, that's coming out. Is it sequel? I can't remember. That comes out at the end of the year. And yeah, as I say, like, those are the ones that are left. Like, all the ones that I was looking forward to, like Infinity War and Deadpool, are already out, and I've already seen them, and they've been awesome. So yeah, there's very few that I'm still looking forward to, but I'm sure there will be movies that I've not even thought about this year that are actually gonna knock my socks off. The next question comes from Luke Morris, who, once again, I want to say thanks to Luke for being a big supporter of the channel. He's been here since the very beginning, way back when, and he also let me film the here's a little insight for you. Some of the very first episodes of the Jamie Hughes Show were filmed in Luke's bedroom, which sounds a little bit weird now that I've said it out loud. But anyway, Luke has asked if will I ever do any podcasts with guests, and I don't know. I'd like to. I would really like to. I think having a podcast would be awesome, and getting some awesome guests and awesome YouTubers that I have found and I would like to say I've become friends with through doing YouTube. I would love to get them on and talk movies. I'm not sure how feasible that is at this moment in time, but it's definitely something I've thought about, and I think it's a project for the future when hopefully the channel becomes a little bit more stable. But yes, it is something that I've thought about and something that I would really love to do. So the next question comes from Ryan, and he says, what did you first see at the cinema? And I was thinking about this one, and I think my earliest recollection of going to the cinema, I must have been about 4 or maybe 5. And I remember going to see Jurassic Park: The Lost World. And I just remember crying throughout, and not because I was scared of the dinosaurs. I just remember it being so loud in the cinema that it freaked me out, and I'm pretty sure that's my earliest recollection of the cinema. I was really young. I don't know why my parents took me to go and see it. It was the 90s. It was a different time. You could do what you wanted back then, couldn't you? And maybe other than that, my other recollections, my earliest recollections of going to the cinema a little bit later on, maybe when I was like 8 or 9, is my nan and my granddad used to take me and my cousins and my sister when we used to stay there. You all used to take us to the cinema on a Saturday night, and I remember going to see like the Piglet movie, or maybe like the Tigger movie. It was one of those two. And I always remember we saw that film, and my granddad took us into the cinema, fell asleep from the opening credits, I think from the trailers, and then woke up at the end of the film and was just like, yeah, that was terrible, and he didn't see any of it. I remember as well, like 101 Dalmatians, the live action version. So it may be one of those 3 that are my earliest recollections of going to the cinema. Another question from Chris, and he says, do you have any aspirations to move into the industry, the film industry, writing or directing, etc.? And yes and no, and I kind of do that, a little bit of insider information for you guys. I do run my own multimedia production company, which makes it sound really important, but I run a videography company with my business partner, and we go out and make stuff. It's usually very commercialized stuff, but you know, we have been lucky to be a bit more creative with things as well. So I guess I'm kind of, oh God, that makes it sound really pretentious, doesn't it? But I'm kind of in the industry in a really small scale. But yes, you know, I would love to, if the opportunity arrives, to go and work on a film of any size. But probably not writing, because I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic. I don't write too good. Yeah, if the opportunity arises to go and like film some stuff, then yes, but writing, no. This next question comes from Theme Park Dean, and he asks, what movies would you like to see turned into haunted houses? Now I assume with a name like Theme Park Dean, he's talking about the houses that are going to be at Halloween Horror Nights in Universal. So the ones that instantly jumped out for me were possibly a great movie I saw early on this year called Ghost Stories, which had 3 individual stories. So you had these really great creepy set pieces that I think would work really well in a haunted house. So you had a pub, there was an old mental asylum, there was like outdoors in like the wilderness in a forest and stuff. There was a modern day house, and there was also this creepy like underground little walkway, and it was all really cool. So I think that'd be a great house. Maybe a new house for Halloween, the film Halloween that's coming out this year. Maybe a VHS house would be pretty cool, like with all the little short films that are in that. You could get some really great scares by having like different sections of the house. Maybe a poltergeist house as well. I think that would be pretty cool. But Universal have got it covered, to be fair. A lot of the movies that I enjoy, I think they've already had houses or scare zones in the past, so they've pretty much got that covered. But those would be the few that I'd pick that I'd like to see in the future. So next up, Ryan asks, what films made me love cinema? And this is a tough question, because I don't want to pinpoint any film individually, but I think for me it's films that make me feel stuff, films that make me feel the magic of cinema, and make me fall in love with it. So films that leave me, like, I don't know, maybe emotionally drained, like I've been upset or crying. I love like a really good action film where like you come out of the cinema and you feel like, you know, you could take on the world. And yeah, just films that make me feel stuff, which is a really probably cop-out answer, but yeah, films that make me feel things are films that make me love cinema. And next up, Luke asked the question of, will the TV show reviews return? And the short answer to that is yes. The long answer to that is yes, when I get round to watching some TV shows, because I always plan on it. I've got loads and loads of TV shows I want to watch, but then I just end up watching stuff I've already seen a million times before. So I'll throw out the question to you guys as well. Is there any TV shows I should be checking out? And should I review them? So let me know down in the comments below. So Mark asked the question, have I ever left a screening halfway through a movie? And sadly the answer to that is yes. I've done it twice. The first time was pretty straightforward. I went to see Rings. There was a guy sat next to us who was talking quite loudly throughout all the trailers and stuff. I thought, whatever, it's the trailers, don't really care. As long as you're quiet throughout the movie, dude, it's whatever. He wasn't. He was talking for a little bit, then he decided to get his phone out. He was scrolling through the Daily Mail website with his brightness on full. It was kind of like, you know, you politely kind of, you know, do you mind putting your phone down? He didn't. He completely ignored us, and he just kind of carried on. And we thought, do you know what, let's just leave, let's just get out of here. So we went out, we told a member of staff, they were really cool about it. They went to try and find him. I don't know if they were going to try and throw him out or whatever, I don't know, but you know, it wasn't a big deal, because another shameless plug here, but I've got a Cineworld Unlimited card where I can go and see as many films as I want, whenever I want. So we cancelled those tickets, and there wasn't another screening for Rings, so we ended up going to see the Lego Batman movie. Went back to the cinema the next day and saw Rings, and was severely disappointed anyway. So that one was kind of really straightforward, no real drama. It was just kind of like, you know, the guy's being a bit of a dick, so we left. The next one is a little bit more stressful, and I still have anxiety and cringe about it for how much of a little bit of an idiot and a bit of a douche I was. But we're going to an unlimited screening, which is where you get to see films a little bit earlier than general release. So we're running a little bit late, so we got to the screen, checked, it was still on the trailers, so I thought, right, quick, let's go. I ran to the toilet, did my business, went to go to find my seats, and as I got to my seats, there's a lady sat in my seat that I booked. So I was like, oh, the film's about to start, I don't want to cause a scene. Do you know what, there's 2 seats behind her that are empty, let's just jump in those. So it's fine, you know. But then I started to think about it, and it started to play on my mind, and I was like, but what if the people that book these seats turn up a little bit late and they kick me out, and then it's like a really awkward thing if I've got to move this woman. So I started to get really agitated. I started to get really angry at this poor woman, you know, for taking my seat, which I think, you know, at the time was a fair gripe. And I was getting really agitated. I couldn't focus on the film. I was getting really kind of just more and more annoyed about the whole situation. So in the end, I said to my friend, look, let's get out of here. I can't stay in the cinema because I'm just getting too annoyed. I wanted to review the film and I couldn't because I didn't have the right frame of mind on. So we left the cinema. And I got really angry. I was like really ranty in the car on the way home. I think I called this poor woman every name under the sun. I was like just really, really annoyed. And I got home, I thought, I can't believe that she stole my seat. Like she's booked a seat for herself and thought, no, I'm going to sit in this other seat because it's better and it's more isolated than the one that I'd already booked myself. So I went online, went and checked my emails, and then that's when I had the horrible realization that in fact this woman was not only sat in her designated seat, that I had actually booked seats 3 rows in front of her and I'd messed up in my haste. So yeah, rather annoyingly, that one was on me, and yeah, I kind of got angry at this poor woman for no reason, and I missed the film, which is even more annoying because I didn't go back again and watch it in the cinema, which was really, really grim. So yeah, that one was on me. Luckily enough, I didn't say anything to the woman at the time because I would have felt absolutely terrible. I can look back and laugh at it now, but I'm glad I didn't say anything at the time because I would have looked like a massive douche. Next up, this question comes from Ashley, who is the movie oracle. She is again, she writes wonderful written reviews of films, but she also has a YouTube channel and she's really awesome. She's opened my eyes to a few films that I'd never even heard of, and you know, she's a really cool girl and she does some really great reviews on YouTube, so go and check her out. She is the movie oracle, and she asks, what is my favourite mythical creature you'd like to see depicted in films? And I have to think about this one for a while, but I'm going to go with like ghosts and demons. Do they count as mythical creatures? I googled it and they did, but I would go for like ghosts and demons. I love a good possession, me. So yeah, there's one as well that I actually saw on this list that I wanted to mention that I'd like to see more of. They feature in a video game, they featured in Until Dawn, and they are Wendigos, and I think they're awesome. I love a Wendigo. So I'd like to see more films featured around Wendigos in the future, but yeah, ghosts and ghouls and demons and all that jazz for me. This next question comes from Luke again, and he says, what are alternatives to the best movies of all time, e.g. films like The Godfather and Jurassic Park? And that's a really tough question. I can't think of a solid answer, so I'm going to cop out here and I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think are some good alternatives to what are considered the best movies of all time? I think I could spend a whole video on this answer alone, but I'm not really sure the best way to go around it, so I'm going to swerve that question and pose that one to you guys. So what do you think are the best alternatives for the best films of all time? This next question comes from Ryan again, and he asks what are my top 5 favourite films, and this probably changes like the weather. It changes probably every day, but at this moment in time, if I had to think about my 5 favourite films, then I'd probably go for Quadrophenia, The Wrestler, Django Unchained, a great documentary called Don't Take Me Home, and probably Baby Driver. At this moment in time, they're probably my 5 favourite films, but as I said, that one probably changes like the weather. And then following up from that question, Chris asks, what are some of your favourite films that people might be surprised to see are quite high on that list? And probably from the list I've just mentioned, maybe Baby Driver and Don't Take Me Home. But that's a tough one because I don't really have like a definitive answer for what my favourite films are, because I say film is so subjective that I might like one film 1 minute and then like something else a whole lot better. But a really weird one that I remember I used to watch all the time, like when I was like 16, 17, we used to go out camping and we used to go out and get drunk and like sleep in a field and then come home, and then like every time I'd come home, for some weird reason, I'd always watch I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry when I was like dead hungover. I'd always put it on when I was like come home from a night out. I'd put it on and fall asleep to it. It was, I don't know, it's just a really weird one. It's not even one of my favourite films, I don't know why. It was just kind of like a comfort film. I'd pop it on, it was easy watching, and I'd fall asleep watching it. So that's kind of a weird one. But as go as far as top 5, 10 list goes than maybe the 2 that I mentioned earlier on. But yeah, Chuck and Larry is a little bit of a weird one. And finally, the last question. It's been a long old slog, so thanks for sticking around with this Q&A. And the last question is quite a nice one to wrap up on, and it comes from Luke again. And he asks, what is the future of this channel? And I think that's a really great question. I have some goals in place that I want to hit, and kind of targets I want to hit. But long term, what I want to see happen on this channel is that, as much as I love doing movie reviews, they are so rewarding and it's really fun to do, because a lot of my friends don't go to the cinema as often as me, so it's really hard. Like I go to the cinema a lot anyway, whether I was doing this channel or not. So getting my opinions, and letting out my opinions on a film is really important for me doing this channel, because I can vent them and hopefully people are watching, all that kind of jazz. But one of the things I want to kind of move into going forward is I'd like to do a lot more news-based stuff on this channel, because I can have a little bit more freedom, I can have a little bit more fun in those videos, and put my own spin on the news. And I've been having a lot of fun doing those recently. I would like to start pumping out a little bit more of those, because from a view and an engagement standpoint, they are a little bit more rewarding than a movie review. So I'd like to carry on doing movie reviews. Obviously I'd never stop doing them, but doing a little bit more news content is something that I see myself doing a little bit in the future going forward. Obviously another goal, and one of the things that would help massively, is getting this channel to monetization. Now I'm a million billion miles away from that. I don't even know if it'll ever happen. It doesn't matter if it doesn't, because money is not the reason why I'm doing YouTube. But it would help. I can't deny that. Another goal that I have is for this channel is I want to hit 300 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm at 259, I think, at the time of recording this video. So I think we're going to do it. Touch wood, we're going to do it. But that's a goal. But yeah, as I said, for the future of this channel, I want to keep pushing forward with the movie reviews, and also increasing the number of news videos that I do, and then anything else that comes along the way. At the minute, I've got a few ideas for videos in the pipeline, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. There's some things, the wheels are turning, and hopefully we can start creating some awesome and fun new content on this channel. But yeah, that's where I see the channel heading. That's my goals for the future of this channel. And that has been the Jamie Hughes 2-year anniversary Q&A. Boom, boom, boom. I hope you've learned some stuff about me. Hope it's been fun. I've never done one of these before, so I don't know how it's going to come out. But yeah, thank you so much, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, for supporting the channel over the past 2 years. We had a little bit of a rocky start, but we seem to have steadied the ship a little bit now. I am having the most fun I've ever had on YouTube. Seriously, I love doing this channel. I would never want to stop doing it. And I hope I entertain and inform you guys as much as I think I do. That sounded really egotistical, but you know what I mean. It's just really rewarding doing this, and I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you for everybody that left a question. I hope I answered it, and you kind of got the answer you wanted. Thank you to everybody that has ever watched, supported, liked, shared, commented, anything on these videos. I'm waffling now, but just thank you so much, genuinely. And here's to the next 2 years. So thank you very much for watching this episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. If you have any thoughts or comments on any of the questions that I answered in today's video, then let me know down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!